Okay. The parable of the weeds, Matthew chapter 13, verse 24 through 30. And I'm reading the NIV. Yeah, this is the NIV version. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed seeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, the weeds also appeared. The owner's came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" The man said, "No, because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds, tie them in bundles to be burned, and then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn." Um, he's talking about like the kingdom of heaven. It's his people. God's people, his creation, humans. He's talking about humans. God created humans, and they were good. He planted. That's parable, all that. He planted a garden of good wheats, and we're the wheats. I've never been so, I guess, felt so loved to be called a wheat before, but that's who he's referring to, like his creation, his people, and he created them good. But then Satan, the enemy, um, came in and sowed weeds, and so came to taint and to mess up his creation. And so his servants, it's like obvious, and we think that way, like, well, since sin got here, since now you got some bad apples, like they're not all good wheat, they're not all good people, like, so why don't you take out the real bad ones, um uproot them, throw them away, so that the good ones that you intended can grow and be the way that you intended. But God is like, no, like it, yeah, like, yeah, it sucks that that happened, but like let them grow, because like if you just uproot the weeds that's now growing among and intertwining, and their lives are connected, and like if you uproot the weeds that are now connected with my wheats, you might uproot some of the wheats. You might uproot, you might damage, you might weaken. You like some of you might There's going to be some cause and effect, because that's logic, that's life, how life works. Like God doesn't act like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Like he's a God of excellence. He's a God of power. Yes, he can do all things, but he's also a God of order and a God of excellence. And his creation has intention. And so if there's intention, and if there's a design to something, then there's going to be cause and effect. If you tweak that design, if you bump into, if you impact that design, there's going to be some cause and effect. And so God is like, no, I get it, I see it, and that sucks that like the weeds are growing with the weeds, and clearly I can see some of the chaos that these weeds are causing. But I'm not going, but like, of course, like, God intervenes, and God, like, supernaturally like helps out in different situations, but he's not about to uproot and just snatch out the weeds, because that's going to cause way more damage and than anything else. And so, because he's a God of design, and there's like some intentional design that's in that garden, that's within us in this world. And so it's not just a like poof, let them be gone, and then everything gonna be fine and dandy. No, like we're way more complex than that. give us as creation more credit. That, yeah. And then he says, crap, I was using my computer and the time went out. Let me log back in. So yeah, I feel like that's an answer to that. I know I've questioned a lot. Like, why don't you just like start over, God? Why don't you just take out the bad apples? Like, and he's like, no, well, now since this happened, I'm just gonna let them both, like, let everything come to its full growth, whatever. And and then when it's time, then I'll remove. When it's time, when I know that, like, it's time for the good weeds to be able to separate and stand on their own, like all that. When it's time, he then that's when he's going to uproot the weeds, um and unfortunately do away with them. But then, um the wheats, then he's going to, what is it said, gather the wheat and bring them into my barn. And so bring them into my home, so bring them to me. He's going to gather us up and then bring us to him. And so, yeah, so that's why we're waiting on God for the right time, for him to do away with evil, do away with sin, do away with all this, because he has to wait to the right time to make sure that all of the good wheats, grow to their fullness, like reaches the potential that they need. Um, yeah, to be able to be, gathered up and into his home. He doesn't want to miss any. He doesn't want to miss any wheat. He doesn't want to miss any person out there who has the potential to be a wheat. He doesn't want to miss anyone. And so he's like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just wait, and I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna wait until it's the perfect time. Um, then I'll take away the bad, and then I'll bring you the good into my home for all eternity. So, yeah, we just got to wait and be patient, but that's our hope. Like, although it's chaos, and it's chaos in the world, because there's a lot of weeds in the world. Um and But God knows how to restore. He knows how to comfort. He knows how to um he knows how to save. And he knows when it'll be the right time, because he wants to make sure all those that are going to be wheat gets there and fully grows. Fully grows. Yeah, so they can be separated from the bad. So